North Dakota is one of the few states we hunt each fall that we really have to adapt to the change in the seasons. Early season generally brings warm temperatures and food literally everywhere. For this reason, the deer are widespread. By the time the late season arrives, crops are off and the deer are yarded up wherever they can find that last available food source to survive the brutal winters. Over the past several years, my desire to hunt the late season has really grown. Seemingly Arctic-type temperatures at times has the human activity down and the deer movement at its best. It's been 18 trips since I last punched a tag in North Dakota. I am really beginning to question my sanity at this point, as were my family and friends about 14 trips ago. Quitting would have been easy, but it would have taught me nothing.
This camera's dead. That's just glorious. I love when that happens.
What's that?
I think the camera's dead. This is a new spot we put out here last weekend. Actually haven't hunted this spot in probably 3 or 4 years. And we just wanted to try a different spot because we're having a difficult time getting on good bucks. Put this camera out. Last weekend we checked it the morning after we put it out and we had a good buck off in the distance. He didn't come in front of the camera, but he walked into the corner of this bean field. We couldn't tell how good he was, but he looked pretty solid. So we dumped out more Big and J, left the camera here. Camera's dead, but we should have some pictures from early in the week before it died. Yeah, dump some more Big and J, swap the batteries out on this camera, and see what we got going back here. There he is. That's a stud 10-pointer. That's that buck that was walking past in the distance.
All licensed up in North Dakota. A couple more hours and we'll be at camp. Just pulled in here in North Dakota. Meeting up with Bob and Andy, gonna unload the car and probably discuss a game plan over a pot of coffee. Or get out and check all the cameras and see what's rocking here in the last week.
No, here's what we got going.
We got work to do.
Windmill South, it's a new spot. You have not been there. That's where we're getting that 10-pointer that we call Aniston. He showed up last week. Hopefully he's still there. River Top, we got that goofy, non-typical deer. But he was all nighttime.
And that's Baronet Blind at the end of the pine strip.
Yes.
About 300 yards down from where it was last.
Yeah, you're like probably 30 yards from that corner. There's been, as of last week, there was anywhere from 8 to 12 does out there by like 5:30 every night.
It's important to know that that tag is for any whitetail.
If you want to shoot $270 doe, that's where I would go.
$272 doe.
We're back out here in North Dakota. We're on a bit of a heater this week. Mike was fortunate enough to punch his tag out here a week ago. Him and Bob both killed back in Wisconsin this week, so we're trying to ride the gravy train right now. We're in a spot we haven't hunted in a few years. Been running trail cameras and Big and J in here. And we got a big buck, big 10-pointer we call Aniston. Been coming in here 3-4 nights a week, a couple times in the daylight. Conditions are right. It's about 25 degrees cooler than it was out here last weekend, so these deer have been moving a lot. We're sitting on the corner of a bean field, and then back behind me right now we got a big CRP field. These deer have been just kind of filtering in this corner. They just took these beans off last week, so there's still a lot of slop out in the field that the farmers miss. So I'm gonna sit here tonight and see what happens. We got pretty strong winds, and they keep switching directions, so we're putting a lot of faith in the ozonics tonight. was unbelievable. We just had an adult doe responsible for the life of 2 fawns come in directly downwind of us and feed down here at about 15 yards for 10 minutes. Not once did they pick their head up. Not once. That's not a product splurge for ozonics. It's our first time using it this year, and just the stuff we've seen the last couple weeks is unreal. That could have been night over right there. First deer to come in. We knew this wind was marginal, like I said, when we got in here, but I got a lot more confidence after seeing that. We had about 45 minutes to an hour of daylight max. It's overcast tonight, so we're gonna lose it quick, but these deer are really starting to move. Most of them are coming out of the standing corn to the northeast of us and working across our way. Still haven't laid the eyes on the big boy yet, but got a lot of deer out here in this cut bean field right now, just feeding around. They're still optimistic. Conditions are about perfect.
I feel like this doe last night when she looked at the camera.
I'm bow hunter.
Yeah, it even says, I am a bow hunter, so.
Can we put a questionable after that?
You're so funny, look at you. I am a questionable bow hunt. Where'd he go?
He locked himself
He
in the
left.
room, I think.
He went
Andy,
away?
we-
Don't
come
go away
back out.
mad. Come on, Andy. I was just kind of kidding.
It's October 4th. Mike and I are back in the same stand we sat last night. We've only been up in the tree for probably 15 or 20 minutes. We had a doe and 2 fawns slip in. Pretty sure it's the same ones we had come in on us early last night. They fed past us and they're out in the cut bean field right now. We got farmers harvesting about half a mile from us right now, taking some more beans off. Should get some deer on their feet tonight. Weather conditions are still really good.
As the calendar pushed through October, buck activity was diminishing on the cameras and almost non-existent during our sits. With only a couple days to hunt each week, Mother Nature can really play her part when she throws unfavorable weather at you.
Mike and I drove back out to North Dakota last night. Went out on a little scouting mission this morning. Came up empty. Didn't see the buck we were looking for. Back in a tree this afternoon. Sit in the same stand we sat last weekend. Trying to catch up to a buck we call Aniston. Big, beautiful 10-pointer living out in this grass here behind us. It's unseasonably warm. Got up in the 80s. About a 20-degree rise in temperature today, which is not good. You just never know. Mike shot one a couple weeks ago when it was 85 degrees. So we'll sit here and see what happens tonight. Pretty much expect the worst and hope for the best. Ended up seeing a few more deer than we thought we were going to tonight. It was warm today, got up in the 80s, and we went into the tree really not expecting to see much at all, but we ended up seeing probably close to 20 deer. A few small bucks, a lot of does and fawns. Still playing cat and mouse with a shooter. He shows up on the cameras every single night. We just need cold weather to move in. We've had a couple cold snaps here during the week here in the last couple weeks, and he's been moving in the daylight, so I know he's not completely nocturnal. We just got to get the weather snap while we're here. Just rolled into the campground here. We were planning on struggling, gathering firewood and everything else, but we landed on an absolute gold mine, abandoned campsite. We got a fire rack, a nice wooden bench, good starter wood. I mean, we're set. So we're gonna get the fire going, throw the can cooker on here, and get a little supper going. We're kind of in a hustle right now. We made a last minute decision not to climb in a tree tonight. We're gonna go ground hunt this marsh. Got a few shooters living out here. We've only got about an hour and a half until dark. We're gonna go
climb up in the tree stand real fast, see if we can get eyes on them. They haven't been making it across the field in time before dark. So we're gonna try to get eyes on them and make a move on them. Day 3, out here in North Dakota. I texted my boss yesterday and told him we had a hellacious cold front coming in. Be in my best interest to hunt, and he fell for it. So we're here. He gave me the day off, and Mike had the okay from work too. But
they just don't know it yet.
Yeah, they just don't know yet. But they will.
Sorry you guys had to find out this way.
Yeah, we apologize. It's the 12th of October. It's my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. Still out here in North Dakota. Mike and I both decided not to go to work today. We had to stay for this cold front that came in. It's about 40 degrees colder today than it was yesterday. Wind's blowing like crazy right now out of the northwest. 25 mile an hour steady with probably gusts up to 40. It's pretty crazy in the tree right now. But these deer have been locked down for the last probably 36 hours, just crummy weather. There's already some does coming onto the cut bean field here, about 200-300 yards from us. But we're still after this buck we call Aniston. He's been in here regular just outside of daylight, and we think tonight with this change in weather, if he's gonna slip up, it's gonna be tonight, I think. Despite the weather change that we had been hoping for, Aniston was a no-show, and the hunt would continue.
On to the next spot. Nothing's happening here. Half of this marsh got burnt off within the last week. They lost almost all their cover. We got a couple other spots in mind. We're gonna pull this set and move on. Yeah, a couple other tree stands in other spots we're gonna try, and then we're gonna try on the ground in a couple spots. See if we can get something going today. It's cold. These deer should be on their feet. Gonna shoot that buck down there. house tonight. A really, really old house. And we're up in the bathroom. Been running trail cameras in here. We got several good bucks. Probably half a dozen good bucks in here. A couple really nice ones. We're hoping we catch deer coming to this cut cornfield. And hopefully entice a good one to come in here and check out the decoy.
This would be our last day in North Dakota before heading home to hunt the rut. It wouldn't be until late season when we would return to the state that has left a bitter taste in my mouth over the last 2 seasons.
It's the 13th of December. Just got out here to North Dakota. Brandon and I came out here this past weekend, did a turn and burn. Set the blinds up in the dark. 6 different locations. Mike and I just drove through the night, got out here. We got a couple spots in this area and then a couple spots about a half hour west of here we're gonna go check. We put out Big and J and a bunch of alfalfa last weekend, and we're gonna do the same right now. So gonna check these cards and see what's running around here. We got great weather, fresh snow. Should be good hunting this weekend.
The mild weather had made for a slow start to our late season. With several good bucks on camera after the gun season, we figured it was only a matter of time before one of them would make a mistake.
We are headed west, North Dakota. This is my 3rd trip out here this year. They got plenty of snow. It's going to be cold, high of 9 tomorrow. So deer should be moving. If anybody deserves a deer, it's Brennen. He's got about 300 hours in the car and hasn't shot one in North Dakota yet. So he's going to be out tonight too.
It's December 18th. We're out in North Dakota and kicking off our late season push. Called in sick to work today because the weather's so good out here. Last night, a really big cold front pushed in. It's about 5 degrees. Just snuck back into the blind that Mike and I sat both nights last weekend. Strong 25-mile-an-hour wind too. It's really biting us. Checked the card this morning, and there's 2 more good bucks that have showed up. I got a feeling we're gonna see some deer as cold as it is. These deer are starting to hit this alfalfa and Big and J pretty hard now. Mike had to work this weekend, mandatory overtime. So I'm in here by myself tonight. Hopefully with a little luck we can knock one of these bucks down. Just had that Big 10 come in. Him and 4 nose showed up out of absolutely nowhere. Got on top of me within seconds. I drew back on him. One of these does got squirrely right in front of me here. And he didn't spook bad, but he kind of walked back into these blinds. These does are still right out in front of me feeding. I can barely talk right now. I just shot the buck we call Boombastic. He's a buck that we originally were hunting in this spot. I was sitting here for probably close to an hour. so pumped up. These deer are literally, it doesn't get any better than this, man.
We got him out. He was tangled up in that brush pretty bad, so we got him out towards the end of the field. He made it a long ways, but he's down. Really good blood trail. Brennan's on a, I don't know how many hours he's been out here chasing these deer. And ate his tag last year, and he shot one tonight too, so we doubled down. And it doesn't get any better than that.
That's the buck we call Boombastic. He showed up out here a week and a half ago. Me and Mike actually hunted him both sits last weekend when we were out here. But the weather changed this week. It got real cold and we got more snow. And these deer really started hitting that alfalfa and Big and J, and I am tickled with this deer. I've been hunting out in North Dakota now for the last 2 seasons. Figure somewhere around 290 hours spent on the road driving to and from this state. Over 20,000 miles on the vehicle. I couldn't be more tickled with this deer. And for Brandon to knock one down tonight too is just awesome.